Ted the lovable foul-mouthed teddy bear is back, but this time in the form of an episodic sitcom modeled after those from the 90s. Of course, you'd be forgiven for not knowing that because the show is on fucking Peacock, potentially the most irrelevant major streaming service. Following the same friendship between Ted and John Bennett as the movies did, the Ted series rewinds the tape to their early years. Now, as I remember it, the first Ted movie was pretty funny, the second one had quite a drop-off, and I haven't really thought about either movie for a second since I originally saw them. So needless to say, expectations for the Ted show weren't high. But surprisingly, Ted ended up being wicked funny. Taking place in 1993, the Ted series follows the earlier years of Ted and John Bennett's friendship. John Bennett, who was played by Mark Wahlberg in the movies, is 16 and a half at this time, and Ted's questionable influence plays a big part in shaping him during these formative years. He helps John get high for the first time and just generally nudges him in the direction of bad behaviors. But when the chips are down, Ted proves that he's a true friend to the end. The two live outside Boston with their beer-chugging, culturally insensitive father Matty, their oblivious, neglected mother Susan, who's sweet to a fault, and their pot-dealing, socially progressive cousin Blaire, who's always quick to call out when the imaginary lines of insensitivity have been crossed. Naturally, this first season put Ted and Johnny Boy in various, hilarious situations in true sitcom fashion, with each episode mostly being its own self-contained story. While the show is called Ted, the style of humor actually harkens back more to that of MacFarlane's most famous creation, Family Guy. Less raunchy than the Ted movies, the series is more of an irreverent style of comedy, especially in its handling of social and racial topics. It's entirely politically incorrect by today's standards, and that's largely what allows it to be as funny as it is. Much like Family Guy, Ted does a great job of working in callbacks, taking little ideas to their most extreme and comedic end, and not taking itself too seriously. I mean, it's a talking teddy bear, for Christ's sake. Every character plays their part and plays it well. A couple of the actors are borrowed from MacFarlane's show The Orville. And I'm always reticent when young actors are involved because usually their acting sucks, but Max Burkholder actually kinda nails not only his character, but specifically a great impression of Mark Wahlberg's character. Of course, it helps that this 16-year-old is actually 26. And Seth MacFarlane is his usual Seth MacFarlane self as Ted. There's only 7 episodes in this first season, but each one has quite a bit of meat on the bone, usually around 40 minutes long and pretty packed with humor. Anyway, we're giving the Ted show a GreatWatch label, saying it's worth your time, and we think that you'll get quite a few laughs out of it. Did you check out this show yourself? Did the Ted movies leave you wanting more, or were they pretty much forgotten up until now? Let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know if you like these shorter, spoiler-free kind of recommendation videos. Or if you'd like to see some kind of weekly or monthly roundup videos briefly going over everything that we've been watching and doling out some recommendations. And lastly, remember to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe to HateWatchers for reviews of other current shows and movies. Thank you for rewinding the tape with us today, and we'll catch you on the next one.